wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land within the Shire of Chittering, the Ewart and Wudjuk people. We would like to pay respect to the elders of the Noongar Nation, past and present, who have walked and cared for the land. We acknowledge and respect the continuing culture and the contributions made to this region. I declare the meeting open at 7 p.m. Please note, as per Council Resolution 130423, this meeting is being live streamed. Item 2, record of attendances, apologies, approved leave of absence. In attendance we have everyone from Council except Councillor Hughes is an apology. We have Councillor Campbell joining us via video link, so please say hello, Councillor Campbell, just so that I can hear you.
Good evening.
Thank you. All right, and we have the staff members present. We have the Chief Executive Officer, Deputy Chief Executive Officers, and our Executive Manager of Development Services, Technical Services, and of course we have an Executive Assistant taking the minutes. Members of the general public, we have 1, and media 0. As I mentioned, we have apologies from Councillor Kylie Hughes. Approved leave of absence. We have 0. Announcements. Councillors, your attendance in your role as elected members are on the screen. Are there any additions to these attendances? Please let me know and we'll update the list. Okay, councillors, no updates required. Item 3, disclosures of interest. Councillors, are there any disclosures of interest in any matter before council tonight? No disclosures of interest, thank you. Just one question, can we have Councillor Campbell up on the side screen or not?
Apparently not.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes,
so Councillor Campbell, I can't see you, so you'll just need to voice your vote when we do the vote, please.
Will do.
Item 4, public question time. Response to previous public questions taken on notice. PQT01 0624, Dawn Lynn, Lower Chittering. The question is, or was, does the Shire have a risk management plan for the proposed bridle trail, particularly around barbed wire, the embankment and liability for any injury caused to horse or rider from being spooked? Who is responsible for maintaining the trail from branches to debris? Will there be dedicated parking for the horse floats? As I've heard, they will be parking at the playground on Sussex Bend. Will this not be a safety issue for children at the playground, or will it deter families from attending the playground? Last part of the question is, the Shire spent money in the last couple of years The Shire spent money in the last couple of years for a bridle trail on Mouchet East Road, which is still there. Why is that not being utilised rather than spending more money on a new trail? The response is as follows. The Shire is establishing the bridle trails for a 12-month trial period, as well as a reference group to monitor and report back to the Shire on the progress of the trails. A risk management plan has not been developed for the 12-month trial period. However, Shire staff have undertaken a risk assessment of the risks of the identified trail routes. This assessment was a practical undertaking that has modified the trail route slightly to provide a route that is considered to be suitably safe for its intended purpose. Additionally, the 12-month trial period will assist in identifying any risks not originally identified, but can be addressed through the consultation with the assistance of the reference group. It is anticipated that through this 12-month trial period and consultation with the reference group, should it be considered that the bridle trails be opened to the public permanently, the need for a more detailed risk management plan can be considered by council at that stage. Finally, ongoing maintenance of the trail is the responsibility of the Shire. These trail routes are fire access tracks where the Shire has existing maintenance responsibilities. Next item of business is public question time. Are there any questions from the public? The single public? Thank you. No questions? Item 5, presentations, petitions and deputations. There are nil. Item 6, applications for leave of absence. Councillors, are there any applications for leave of absence? No. I'll move on to item 7, confirmation of minutes. Councillors, you have an officer's recommendation that the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on Wednesday the 19th of June as published on the Shire website be confirmed. Can I have a mover for that recommendation, please? Councillor Ross, thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Dewar.
I'll jump in for the secondary position, thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Dewar. Councillor Ross, any debate?
No, I believe they're accurate. Thanks, Mr. President.
Councillor Dewar.
Yeah, that looks all good to me, thanks.
Councillors, anyone speaking against?
No.
Thank you. Right of reply not required. Councillor Ross. Thank you. Councillors, I'll declare that carried without dissent, 6-0. Item 8, announcements from the presiding member. There are 3. This month, the CWA of Western Australia has celebrated its centenary. In the Shire of Chittering, we have 3 CWA groups. The Chittering Bindoon branch, established in 1945. The Kurunga branch, established in 1982. And the Bindoon Bells, established in 2019. We extend our congratulations to the CWA and our gratitude to the 3 branches operating within the Shire. The CWA is a community service organisation, and without a doubt, each branch has provided valuable support to those in need in our community. We look forward to each CWA branch having a long and successful future, uniting women and strengthening communities. Second announcement is the Shire has won the National Local Government Award for the category of Women in Local Government, and I proudly accepted the award presented by the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese during the prestigious awards evening at Parliament House, Canberra. So it was a bit of a highlight to actually shake the Prime Minister's hand, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And I even smiled.
Very privileged.
So there you go. Miracles do happen. The award was on the program to provide traineeship to women at the Shire in various roles. So really this is a congratulations, really this is an operation award. We as council can't accept too much credit for this. So it's a credit to the Chief Executive Officer and the Executive Managers for this award. So
Bravo,
congratulations,
bravo,
and
well done,
we look forward to the next award. Or whatever that might be. On Sunday the 13th of July, the Shire proudly hosted the official opening event of the Bindoon Mountain Bike Park in conjunction with West Cycle. The family day was well attended and showcased the potential of the fully developed park for our communities and visitors. And I know most of council was there, but it was really good to see how that the uptake, the attendance by the community, and certainly particularly how it performed as a venue with the incorporation of the food vans, the jump that was there, and then the kids pump track. So I think that was an excellent public opening. So thank you to the staff for putting that together, because these events don't happen by themselves, and it takes a lot of time and effort from the Shire staff to put that together. So again, we don't often thank you enough, but thank you. Item 9, reports, development services. First item of business is DS01, Bridal Trail Reference Group, terms of reference. Councillors, you have an officer's recommendation in front of you, as discussed, briefly to establish a Bridal Trail Reference Group for a 12-month trial period, adopt the terms of reference, and nominate Councillor Mark Campbell as the council delegate, and Councillor Mary Angus as the proxy delegate for the bridal trial. To instruct the Chief Executive Officer to seek public nominations of up to 6 community members to serve on the reference group, and finally to authorise the Chief Executive Officer to select up to 6 suitable members of the community to serve on the bridal trial reference group. Council, that in a nutshell is the officer's recommendation. Can I have a mover for that, please?
I'll move it.
Okay, Councillor Campbell. Right today. I think that was Councillor Angus for the second. Councillor Campbell.
Thanks, President King. So I support the officer's recommendation, as this motion is to set up a reference group of community members to oversee the trial period of 12 months, meeting every quarter. The reference group, consisting of 6 members, will take recommendations on feedback received from the ongoing community consultation process, and additionally assist with specifications, estimated costs, risks, and any deliverables for any new infrastructure associated with the trials. So happy to support this, as we need to engage the community and hopefully have a successful trial.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. Councillor Angus.
Thank you. I'm also happy to support this. I'm pleased to see that we're going to get a reference group to bring back the both concerns and positives to us on how the trial goes. I think it's really important that we get feedback from the people using it and the people who live nearby, so I'm happy to support it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Angus. Any councillor speaking against the officer's recommendation? Councillor Curtis.
Yes, Mr. President. Yeah, I'm against spending money on this. Well, the reference group is no point having a reference group. It's only a few people who got horses in the Shire. I think we could spend the money on plenty of other things that on people, not on horses or dogs. We've got a dog park now. We're going to have a horse park. What next? A cat park. I think we should scrub this.
Thank you, Councillor Curtis. Councillor speaking for Councillor Ross.
Thanks, Mr. President. I think, in fact, we've probably got several hundred people in the Shire who have horses and need somewhere to safely exercise them and enjoy them. As this is a trial, it's actually critical that we get solid input from those who, as Councillor Angus said, either live nearby or are the riders of the horses, and the reference group is the best way to do it. In fact, their terms of reference are clear that they are to be the ears of the community, they are to be listening. So that means it's far more than 6 people giving input. Presumably it will be many who take the opportunity to give an opinion. Thanks, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. Councillor, does anyone wish to speak? Councillor Dewar?
No, all good, thank you.
Councillor Angus? Oh, there was a seconder. So, I'll just speak myself. I support the officer's recommendation. I think the terms of reference are well framed. It's very clear, as Councillor Ross mentioned, what the responsibility of the reference group is. I think this is one of the better frameworks that we've had, and I endorse it completely. We're mindful, this is a trial of 12 months. We do have the option under our previous adopted resolution to suspend the trial should there be difficulties that can't be overcome. So I think combined with Council's original resolution to run the trial for 12 months plus the reference group, I think we're well placed to run a trial that will receive feedback and consideration from all stakeholders. So I support the officer's recommendation. Councillor Campbell, you have right of reply.
Thanks, President King. Just to clarify, unless it might be misleading, that the reference group, there will be no additional costs for the Shire to bear, and the cost of the trails was allowed for in the budget. So just a clarification that there is no additional cost to run the reference group. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. All right, Council, I'll put the officer's recommendation to the vote. All those in favour? Councillor
Yes.
Campbell, thank you. So that is 5 against 1. Thank you. Okay, next item of business is DS02, proposed scheme amendment number 74, rezoning of lots 1, 4, 5, 6 and 50 Great Northern Highway, Mouchet, from agricultural resource zone to general industry zone. Councillors, you have an officer's recommendation to support that rezoning. Can I please have a mover for the officer's recommendation? Councillor Ross. I'm happy to second it. Councillor King. Councillor Ross.
Look, I feel there's not a great deal that needs saying about this. We've got a great deal of documentation. The work that's been done in preparation for this is very thorough, and we've had the opportunity to read it through. It was always the intention that the land in that area would be developed for appropriate use in the industrial park. So I think this is well worth supporting as our step in the whole process.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. Yes, my turn to speak. Certainly, as Councillor Ross pointed out, our role is to either support or reject the proposed scheme amendment, and I support the officer's recommendation, which supports the proposed scheme amendment. And clearly, this land for a long time has been earmarked for part of the Mouchet Industrial Park development, and so it's consistent with what's been proposed over a long period of time, and it will add, in the broader term, to a more diverse facility and more diverse businesses able to operate out of the industrial park. So I support the officer's recommendation. Councillors, is anyone speaking against? Okay, Councillor Ross, right reply. I think, councillors, I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. That will be 6-0. Technical services, there are nil. Corporate services, CS01, list of accounts paid for the period ending 30 June 2024. Councillors, you have an officer's recommendation to receive the list of accounts that total $1.427 million, and these payments are inclusive of payments made using credit, debit and other purchasing cards for the period ending the 30th of June. Councillors, can I have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Curtis, thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Angus. Councillor Curtis.
Mr. President, yeah, I accept the report. Seems a lot of money we're spending these days, but I think we should try and cut back on what we spend. Don't know how we're going to do it, but we've got to do something. But anyway, I accept those list of accounts, but there's just one item there. I don't know why we used the medical centre down in Bullsbrook for WHS. Well, must be work health and safety, is it?
Can I refer that to the Chief Executive Officer?
Yes. So as part of a work health and safety claim, we send a person for their first check, and that it forms part of our responsibility when somebody gets injured on duty.
Why can't they go at our medical centre?
It would depend where the person is injured and where their doctors are. Often we reimburse them, so it would depend on where they are and whether the doctor is there.
Yeah, I thought we'd use our medical centre, but anyway, yeah, I didn't think that they might have been injured down there. Wouldn't they be injured in our shire?
Councillor Curtis. Further questions?
Yes. Would they be injured in our shire? Would we know that?
Yes, they are all injured. All workplace injuries would have been in our shire.
Why would they go down to Bullsbrook then?
I think the CEO's answered that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, that's it.
Thank you, Councillor Curtis. Councillor Angus?
Yes, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary, and just for clarification for Councillor Curtis, we would normally like to send someone to their regular doctor wherever possible, because the regular doctor would have their medical history. which may have an impact on whatever treatment they have. So in an emergency, yes, take them to the closest place, otherwise their own local doctor.
There's 3 of them.
You don't know who they go to, they might travel to Perth.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you.
Councillor Angus. Well answered. It's quite informative. It makes sense, actually, when you put it that way. Didn't think of it that way. Okay. Councillors, anyone speaking against?
No.
Councillor Curtis, would you like right of reply?
No, that's all, Mr. President.
Councillors, if no one's speaking against the officer's recommendation, I'll declare carried without dissent 6-0. The next item of business is CS02, monthly financial report for the period ending 30th of June 2024. Councillors, you have an officer's recommendation to receive the interim monthly financial report for the period ending 30th of June 2024. Can I have a mover for the officer's recommendation, please? Councillor Ross. Happy to second that, thank you. Councillor Ross.
Thanks, Mr. President. These are in order. Just make a note and perhaps a query if I've misunderstood it. The recommendation talks about the interim monthly financial reports. I'm assuming that's because it's end of financial year and there may be adjustments later, or is that just our regular wording?
No, we added it to this for that very reason. The final statements for the year will include balance day adjustments that aren't done for another couple of weeks. So.
Yep. Thanks for the clarification. That was what I thought. So maybe just for the community to understand that end of financial year has to be handled differently. But happy to support this.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. I can really add nothing to this at this point. Anyone speaking against the officer's recommendation?
Nope.
Councillor Ross, no right of reply. Councillors, in the absence of anyone voting against the officer's or anyone speaking against the officer's recommendation, I'll declare carried without dissent 6-0. Next section of business is Chief Executive Officer. First item of business is CEO 01, Work Health and Safety Statistic Report, quarter ending June 2024. Councillors, you have an officer's recommendation to receive the Work Health and Safety Statistic Report for June, which includes statistics, near misses, training, quarterly statistics, site inspections and safety observations. Can I have a mover for the officer's recommendation? Councillor Angus, thank you. And I think Councillor Ross was a close second. So there you go, we killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Councillor Angus.
Once again, happy to receive this report and to see that any near misses, incidents, etc. are brought to the attention for extra training or whatever is required. Yeah, just happy to see it, and it seems to be going well.
Thank you, Councillor Angus. Councillor Ross.
No, nothing to add. Thanks, Mr. President.
Councillors, anyone speaking against the officer's recommendation?
No.
No.
Councillor Angus, I assume you don't need a right of reply.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, no one speaking against the officer's recommendation. I'll declare carried without dissent 6-0. CEO 02, delegation register review. Councillors, you have an officer's recommendation that by absolute majority endorses the updated delegation register and the 5 new delegations listed. Can I have a mover for the officer's recommendation, please? I'm happy. Okay, Councillor Ross, I'm happy to second it. Councillor Ross.
Thanks, Mr. President. This is one of these tasks that we need to do on a regular basis, and so this is not an unusual thing at all, but it's quite important. Often the changes that we have made are minor, but are in a in response to changes in regulations or legislation or other requirements. So I'm pleased of how clearly the data has been presented, so we know exactly where the changes have been made, and it will be easy for the community to follow that if they wish to as well. So happy to support this.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. I'll speak to support the officer's recommendation. It's been quite a thorough process of review, and it's good to see that majority are minor edits to our policies, and some of it's been a bit of a tidy up, which has been good. But also we have 5 new delegations listed as required. So it's quite an exhaustive process to go through these delegations, and I thank the staff for doing that. And I think we've reached a very good standard with the way in which our delegations are presented and can be easily followed as to which regulations they relate to and who the delegate is that the correct word, or delegate, if you like, for want of a better word. So it's much easier to read than the previous version. So thank you for that. Councillor, is anyone speaking against the officer's recommendation?
No.
No, sorry.
Oh, that's okay, Councillor Camp. Councillor Ross speaking.
No, thank you.
No right reply. Okay, councillors, no one speaking against the officer's recommendation. I'll declare carried without dissent 6-0. Item 10, reports of committees. COM 01, membership of the Chittering Bush Fire Advisory Committee and unconfirmed minutes from Tuesday, the 11th of June 2024. Councillors, you have an officer's recommendation, which is relatively lengthy, for the Chittering Bushfire Advisory Committee as provided. Can I have a mover for the officer's recommendation? Councillor Ross, and I think Councillor Curtis was again a close second. Thank you. Councillor Ross.
Thanks, Mr. President. This is another routine matter that this committee attends to every year, of checking out among our volunteer bush firefighters who are the people that are available to take on these roles of serving on the committee for the forthcoming period. And all of these people have put their hand up, which is a signal of their generosity to serve in this governance capacity. So I'm very happy to support this recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. Councillor Curtis.
Mr. President, yeah, I support the recommendation, and I'd like to thank Carmel Ross, being the delegate. She's done a wonderful job over the years. I think it must be about 8 years or been on the committee. Yeah. And also David Dewar, Councillor David Dewar.
Thank you, Councillor Curtis. Councillors, anyone speaking against? And wish to speak for? I think I'd like to just make some comments, brief comments. And volunteering is a selfless act by our community to help support, I guess, our community in times of need, particularly around our emergency services. And it doesn't go unnoticed, and it is, whilst it's not often, I guess, receive a lot of awards and acknowledgement, but certainly we appreciate the community members taking on these roles at great personal sacrifice. Well, maybe not sacrifice, but certainly compromise of their personal lives to fulfil these very important roles. So I do certainly thank the volunteers for their ongoing support of the Bush Fire Advisory Committee. Councillor Ross, right of reply?
No, all good, thanks.
Thank you. Councillors, anyone speaking? Actually, I've done that. Councillors, no one speaking against the officer's recommendation. I'll declare carried without dissent 6-0. Next item of business, COM02, appointment of bushfire control officers of 2024-2025. Councillors, you are requested to endorse the appointment as listed here. The fire control officers, the captain and fire control officer, and also deputy chief bushfire control officer. And just note that Graham Furlong as the acting bushfire control officer for the Shire of Chittering. You have that detailed officer's recommendation. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Curtis. Seconder, please. Councillor Ross. Councillor Curtis.
Mr President, yeah, I support the recommendation and thank all those involved.
Councillor Ross.
Thanks, Mr President. These are the formal positions that we're required to have particular people involved in. And again, with one exception on there, all of these people are volunteers. And these are roles with specific responsibility. So we really need to be in gratitude to those who are willing to accept that responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. Councillors, anyone speaking against the officer's recommendation?
No.
Anyone wish to speak for the officer's recommendation?
I will,
Councillor Jewett.
Mr President. Yeah, I just, again, it's a volunteering thing and people give up a lot of time and, obviously fighting bushfires can be hazardous and risky, so just basically thank the people getting involved and just looking through some of the names there. People have been doing it a long time. Kim Hawes is one I know, so, thank him and, thank all the other people too. And, let's hopefully we have a good fire season this coming summer.
Thank you, Councillor Jewett. Councillors, anyone wish to speak?
No, thanks.
Councillor Curtis, you have right of reply.
Nothing to add, Mr President.
Okay, councillors, if there's no one speaking against the officer's recommendation, I'll declare carried without dissent 6-0. Next item of business is item 11, motions of which previous notice has been given. There are nil. Item 12, questions from members without notice. Are there any questions from members? Councillor Curtis.
Mr President, I'd just like to know how much we've spent on the compound for Good Sammy's at Mushay, because I've got down here from the list of accounts it was $5,290,
Thank
and
you.
we budgeted in the council meeting last month or the month before to only spend 4,200. And I don't know if that's for the whole lot, all the works.
So let me just get that question down. So how much has the Shire, can we make that a little bit larger? Sorry. How much has the Shire spent on Good Sammy's compound in Mushay? That was the first part.
Total cost, the gravel and all the fence, not only the fencing, I've only got, we've spent according to
I just want to get the question.
list of accounts, it was $5,200 for the
First,
fencing.
let's just get your question right first, because the CEO's note, she's going to take it on notice, but let's just make sure every aspect of your question is there so it can be responded to. So how much has, or would you prefer that, what is the total cost?
So far.
Yeah, so maybe the first part says, what is the total cost the Shire has spent on the Good Sammy's compound in Mushay, something like that.
Yeah.
And then that hopefully will cover all components. Are you happy with that?
And while we're at it, maybe have how much we spent on, I haven't seen an account for Pindoon.
So we'll have a
Maybe
second
Pindoon
question, but the
compound as
same
well.
question, but change it. Well, actually, can we do that in the same one, or do you want to do that as separate? Do you want to take that as separate questions or the same one?
We were responding once, and so Risha and Bindoons.
Okay, Mushay and Bindoon. Councillor Curtis? Okay, so the CEO will take that one on notice. Are there any other questions?
No more, not from me.
Thank you, Councillor Curtis. Item 13, new business of an urgent nature introduced by decision of the meeting. There is nil. Item 14, meeting closed to the public. There is one matter closed to the public. We have an officer's, thank you, Roy Neal.
Thanks, Glenn.
We have an officer's recommendation that council moves into confidential session to discuss the following item, which is CON01, purchase of lot 22, Casuarina Close, Bindoon. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Ross. Seconder, Councillor Angus. Councillors, anyone speaking against the procedural motion? If no one speaking against that procedural motion, I will declare carried with that dissent 6-0. Thank you. In relation to confidential item CON01, purchase of lot 22, Casuarina Close, Bindoon, the officer's recommendation that was endorsed by Council 6-0 reads as follows by absolute majority. 1, that Council resolve to proceed with the purchase of lot 22, Casuarina Close, Bindoon, known as lot 22 on deposited plan 77873, as per the attached draft contract. And 2, authorise the Chief Executive Officer and Shire President to sign and apply the common seal on any documents associated with the purchase of the subject property in accordance with Council Policy 1.14, execution of documents and use of the common seal. That was the carried resolution. Item 15, closure. I declare the meeting closed at 7:42.